Today on the After Show, we are sharing this content on the public feed. There are a few people who have reached out and wanted to know what was behind the paywall. What were they in for if they joined us on the Spreaker app for audio content or over on Patreon for video content? So what we are doing is Casey and I decided we would do one of our typical after shows and we would make it available to everyone so you could see the kinds of things we talk about when we are not on a regular episode. So we talk about all kinds of things from TikTok drama to TVs and movies to story times and more. I hope this peek behind the paywall is something that will motivate you to support Shelf Addiction and help us create even more bookish content. Enjoy the after show. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. I'm your host, Tamara. Today we are doing something special and giving everyone a peek behind the paywall with an after show. Everyone gets to hear this one, so we hope you enjoy. If you would like to see the video version of this episode without ad breaks, you need to head on over to Patreon and sign up. There's a lot of content over there for you to watch, including more after shows, video vlogs, and all kinds of stuff. If you are listening on the Spreaker podcast app, you also have access to the after shows and other exclusive content in audio only format. So if you prefer video, head on over to Patreon. You can also join me and my two co-hosts over on the Book Clubs app for even more bookish chats. Please subscribe and like the podcast wherever you are listening. If you'd like to reach out to me, you can find me pretty much everywhere at Shelf Addiction. Joining me today is feature co-host Casey from Heart Full of Ink. Welcome back, Casey.
Hello, hello. I'm so excited to be here today.
Yes, we got enough drama for you today.
No, but I think we have some fun stuff to talk about.
That's fair. Tell everyone where they can find you.
You can find me on Facebook at Heartful of Ink, on Instagram at Casey_Heartful of Ink, or on my website, heartfulofink.com.
Okay, so we're not talking about a book specifically, so I don't want to give an official spoiler warning, but if books come up, we will try our absolute best to keep them spoiler free. We will try. And what else? Oh yeah, so I said video format's available. So we are sharing TikToks this episode. If you want to see the TikToks, again, Patreon. But I will have links in the show notes. So if you want to click and see and watch, you can do that as well. All right, let's jump into it. First, how's your March been so far?
March is kicking my ass. March is just like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Me too. March has been rough. I've been in school. I started this program. It's been kicking my butt. Literally last night, since I was out of town, I was out of the country, I did not do my homework earlier this week. So I spent maybe 3 hours on Friday and 5 hours on Saturday.
Damn, girl.
5 hours doing homework and taking a quiz.
Nope. I hate school. Like, I don't want to do that.
Doing this to myself. I had to remind myself why I'm doing this. It's a certification program, so I already have my degree and stuff. But I'm like, let me just go get some more paper to put behind my name. So, and it's actually affecting my reading in a negative way. During this program, I'm only planning on reading books for the podcast. I don't think I'll have, so far I'm like 3 weeks in and I really haven't had time to do anything outside of the podcast books because just so much time spent reading.
Yeah. You spent 8 hours on homework instead of 8 hours on an audiobook. Yeah. And sometimes it's more. Like, it's really bad. Ugh.
It was pretty bad. I'm like, fuck. And it's only going to get worse because the segments are getting harder. It's stuff I don't know anymore. So fun. Hey, March. Yay, March. And today, on the day we're recording, it decided to snow in Michigan.
What?
It snowed.
It's 70 degrees and sunny outside for me.
Girl,
like, it is fully spring outside.
Yes. I woke up and there's snow everywhere. It looks like it's going to melt tomorrow because it's supposed to be 60 tomorrow.
Mother Nature is drunk and needs to go home. This is wild.
But it's kind of typical for Michigan. If you don't like the weather, just wait and it will change kind of thing. But I'm like, snow, get the Get out of here.
Fuck out.
Exactly. So yeah, my March has started out really interesting. Fun times. And it's only just begun.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. So let's see what TikTok is serving up.
Weirdly, nothing. I spent the last 3 days looking for drama, like specifically looking for drama for us to talk about, and I could not find anything. I don't know if it's just completely dead on the internet or if I'm just like on the outskirts and can't find anything. But even when I type in #book drama, nothing new popped up. And I was like, what is this?
It's the quiet before the storm. That's what I think.
Yeah, probably.
But I'm with you. I found some unique things. But to be honest, I had to go through and clean up my TikTok feed. I had so much stuff. I think somehow my TikTok must have been hacked or something happened. Because, when you go to your follow to see who you're following, I'm like, who are these people? What is this? I'm like, I was following like 500 content creators.
What?
And when I went in there, I didn't know who 95% of them were.
I don't know if you've been hacked, but I think TikTok does make you follow people without like you clicking the follow button. Because I've noticed that sometimes. But that's wild. That was like 500 people.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. And I hadn't looked at that in a long time. But what made me notice it is when I went to scroll the For You, I'm like, what is this? I was seeing all kind of crazy mess. So I went and I said, let me clean this up. I'm like, 500. And I just delete, unfollow, all the way down the list. Now I'm following like 60.
That's a good number to follow. Like that's a solid
people.
Yeah.
I love
your people, what they're going to talk about. You have it curated.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I left the app, came back, hit refresh, and now the For You page is looking a little bit better.
Good.
And of course, I did some heavily, amount of searches trying to prepare for this episode. So I think that also helped clean it up. I don't know what was going on with the Shelf Addiction TikTok account. I'm like, what is happening? I mean, comedians, food people, travel people, relationship people, lawyers, all kind of stuff. I'm like, what is this? I couldn't understand.
That's
I was
wild.
Confused.
That's absolutely wild.
Unfollow.
Yeah, just unfollow everybody.
Yeah, very weird. But anyway, so let's start. Let's see what I can pull up real fast. I tried to put it in a folder to find everything, and now the TikTok app won't let me pull up the folders. I just see everything in one bucket. So that's fun. So I'm going to click the links I shared with you instead.
Yay!
All right. So let me know if you're unable to hear. This first one is 2 minutes long.
Okay.
So we're going to let it play. But again, I may chop this up on the live feed. So we'll see. All right. Share screen. Is that it? Here we go.
News is circling around BookTok about a coloring book that is being published based on Colleen Hoover's. That video I just stitched was about Colleen Hoover's plans to release a coloring book themed after her work about domestic abuse. And particularly, I wanted to use that as another example of the way that Colleen Hoover romanticizes toxic relationships and romanticizes abuse. And after that, there was enough backlash about how wildly inappropriate that was that the publisher ended up pulling the coloring book, and Hoover issued an apology, and she said she realized after all of the feedback how tone deaf, her words, that effort was. Here we are just over a year later, and her newest little product tie-in are nail polish and press-on nails, again themed after her book about domestic violence, about domestic abuse. And I'm using this as an example to reiterate that Colleen Hoover's works romanticize abuse. They are not romances. And even if you are one of the people who push back against that because of, I can separate fact from fiction and I knew it was bad all along while I was reading it, you have to look no further than the way that Colleen Hoover and her publisher themselves, how they position the book, how they market the book. And these sorts of product tie-ins just, I think, say to me everything that needs to be said about the way that she views her own work.
Yes. This is enough. I totally agree with Marie. I think that's her name. Yeah, Marie, I think. So we've talked about Hoover on the podcast previously, or at least on after shows previously.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Have you read any of her books?
I have not read them, but I know people who have read them and they tell me as they read them. And so I get like the third person, like people dumping on me because they're like, what is this? Is this a plot hole? How is this good writing? And I'm like, it's not. That is a plot hole. That's terrible writing. Like, she needs a good editor.
Yeah.
Or a group of critique partners who are brutally honest with her. And she doesn't have that.
My first interaction with her was probably 10 years ago. The book club I was in, actually, I'm still in that book club. It wasn't mine, but another book club. They read It Begins With Us, or It Ends With Us.
It Ends With Us.
And we read that book and we were like, this is not romance. All of us said, this is a cautionary tale. This is not a romance. This is effed up and very...
Yep.
It's very... it's not good. And it's not good to be serving this stuff up as romance when it's not. And I am of the understanding that fiction is a story, but still you have to be aware of what messaging you are putting out there for young people reading these books.
And that's all in the marketing. That's all in the marketing. And the marketing for this is it's romantic, it's sweet, it's, something everybody should read and love, and go do your nails while you read this, or go color in your coloring book while you read this. And I'm really glad that coloring book got pulled, but the nail polish is in Target right now. You could go to Target right now and get the nail polish today.
You can?
Yes.
I cannot understand how. Why did they think? So did they just have a list of products that they could try to serve up with the book? And when the coloring book got smacked down, they said, the next thing on the list is?
Probably. And I mean, I have a picture of the Target display. I'll text it to you later. But it's 4 of her books, and each one is all like, oh, my heart wants a Manny, and oh, happy fingers, happy life, or whatever. Like it's so disgustingly pandering, just in general. And it's dismissive of books in general and women in general. And it's condescending and disgusting in general, not just like specifically for this one book, but just, oh, I'm a woman, I have to read my beach read. And yeah.
So here's the ad. In Olive and June is a pretty popular fake nail company. And I see the colors kind of match the books a little bit.
Yeah.
It starts with beautiful nails.
It starts with beautiful nails, because if you don't have beautiful nails, you won't get a man.
But see, this is the thing. So the last book, which was the second book in the It Ends With Us, the follow-up to that was It Starts With Us.
Yeah.
So it's a play off of that title.
Yeah. But
which
still
is gross. Okay. I cannot. There's no way I would support this. I don't. And what's crazy is the nail community, just how there's a BookTok community, there's a nail community. They are into showing fake nails or polishing nails, whatever their niche is.
Yep.
They're going to buy this collection just because it's a collection. They may not have ever read a single book by this woman.
Yeah.
But it's a
And
nail
now they
polish
might.
collection. Right. And so now they're putting this in front of a different audience that may have never heard of Colleen Hoover, but they're like, oh, these nail polishes are so pretty. And look how they're serving it up. It's supposed to be fun and light and bubblegum and pastel. And you read the books and you're like, the fuck? That's abuse.
Yeah, no, it's an abusive relationship.
Yeah. It's really misleading. And for people who aren't aware of Colleen Hoover's writing style, this is being introduced, like you said, the way they are putting this out there, it's, hey, tweens and teens.
Yes.
Come this way.
So dismissive and passive. And it's just like, oh, it's pretty colors. Read these happy books with pretty colors. And no.
These books are not happy. None of them.
No.
Don't get twisted. None of them.
No.
They're all bad.
So I've heard Colleen Hoover talk in the past about how her mother was in an abusive relationship, and she based a lot of the book off of her experience growing up and watching her mother and then trying to have a relationship with her father afterward. I don't want to dismiss that, but I also don't know how true that is, because the way she's marketing this book is a slap in the face to every woman who has been in an abusive relationship. Like, if you've been in an abusive relationship, you don't have time to think about your nails. You are stressed out about everything else. And if she was doing this differently, if Colleen Hoover was talking about, like, 100% of the proceeds are going to help women get out of abusive relationships, 100% of the proceeds are going to domestic abuse survivors, or, like, I'm hiring all these women to help them get financial safety. I'm doing this, like, here are classes on financial literacy for women who, are being controlled by their abusers through money. Like, if she was doing anything like that in any sort of capacity to actually help women in abusive relationships, I could respect her for that.
Yeah.
But this is not that. This is a slap in the face.
It's a money grab. It's
women.
just strictly a money grab. That is it.
Yes. It's a slap in the face, and it's disgusting, and I respect her less and less every single day.
Ugh. So annoying. It's so annoying. And it just doesn't stop. It doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop. It will never stop. They keep talking about that movie. It's coming. It's not coming. It's coming. It's back.
Oh my gosh, with Blake Lively.
I hope it gets canned and doesn't happen. Like, it does not need to happen.
And, like, no shade to Blake Lively, but the couple of screenshots I saw, I'm like, this looks like trash. It looks like trash anyway. So
yeah, no, don't watch it. Don't read it. Don't buy the nails. There are other pretty colors out there. Like, it's just, this is a money grab. This is not helping or talking about abuse in any way that is helpful. And it's disgusting. And again, like, I respect her less and less every single day.
Yeah, and I think it would be one thing, like, let's say that it ends with us and it begins with us, or, let's say it's whatever. Those two books were something unique out of the bunch. Yeah. That might be one thing. Yeah. Because not every, then it wouldn't be every single book she writes. But instead, every single book she writes has a man doing something completely inappropriate to a woman. Every single one. Every single one. Gaslighting, abuse.
Layla, my friend read that and, like, texted me every few sentences.
November 9. That's the one I keep hearing a lot about. Like, this guy set this girl's house on fire or some shit, then she got scarred, and then he act like he didn't know, like, what happened to her. I think it was November 9.
No, Layla's the one with the ghost possession, and he, like, ends up tying her up to a bed because he likes the ghost version better than the real version, and there's, like, all kinds of kidnapping stuff. And my friend was like, if this was a horror story and it ended, like, with him going to jail, it would have been perfect. But it ended as a romance with them riding off into the sunset together because he tied her up to the bed and now everything's perfect and safe. And, like, no!
I haven't heard that one. I have not. And
I think I just spoiled the ending. I'm sorry, guys. Like,
sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. Don't read it. There
Okay,
are
so it's
better horror
called
stories.
Layla? That's the name of it?
I think it's called Layla.
Gross.
I think.
All right. Well, I think we've beat that dead horse, I guess.
Yeah. Just
don't.
Just don't. If you want to support survivors, if you want to read about abuse, Delilah Dawson has a really good book called The Violence.
Mm-hmm.
That's about a woman in an abusive relationship who gets out.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's really like, that's the one. If we're going to talk about It Ends With Us, like, no, talk about The Violence by Delilah Dawson. Like, read that one instead.
Mm-hmm. Actually, that is, isn't that what American Horror Story's current season is about? No, that's Delicate Condition. That's not The Violence. Isn't that the same author, though?
I don't know.
Okay.
Delilah Dawson, she's been writing for like 10 years. She writes for Star Wars. She does steampunk. She did this one. She has some YA books. She's all over the place, but I don't think she did that.
I'm about to look her up right quick on Goodreads because The Violence is on my it was on my TBR, and I think I took it off just because I knew I wasn't going to read it anytime soon, but it was up there for a while. No, she didn't do the Delicate Condition. She did just that one. And she did do a lot of others. Oh, Wicked as They Come is on my may read someday list.
Yeah, no, we've talked about doing it for the podcast at some point because she's steampunk and it's different, but I don't know if we'll get to it. But anyway.
Anywho. Okay, let's move on to something a little bit lighter.
Yes.
Okay, let's see what else TikTok has served up.
Given all the recent BookTok drama surrounding review bombing and Kate Crane, I thought you all might get a kick out of this. The Cut recently ran an advice column with the title, "I think my husband is trashing my novel" on Goodreads, all right? It's brought up a lot of speculation online. I'm going to include the screenshots because it's behind a paywall, but essentially this is an author who has released a new book, and after years of work and struggle, she's finally getting tons of accolades, but she is also married to another writer, and with these accolades, she's getting a lot of online hate. And she says she believes it's coming from her husband, though she provides zero receipts. To me, the most telling line in her letter is, "I believe he may be the main source of the hatred that has been directed toward me, likely driven by jealousy that I have achieved something that he never could." So what advice would you give this person if they came to you and said this?
Okay, girl.
Divorce.
That's a
divorce.
Divorce. ASAP.
Yes.
ASAP.
Divorce. It doesn't matter if it's true, if it's false. Divorce. If you think your partner is capable of review bombing you on Goodreads, divorce. Like, if even he's not doing it, you think he's capable and he deserves better than you. But if he is doing it, he's shit and you deserve better, so divorce.
Yeah, I mean, both scenarios are equally as bad. Like, the fact, like you pointed out, the fact that she even believes he could be doing it.
Yeah.
Means that she's
not a good partner. She shouldn't be married to him. Like, if he's not doing it, she's insane and he needs a better wife or, better partner. Like, if he is doing it, then he is insane and she needs to get away from that.
Well, honestly, I'm the kind of person who would not post something like that anyway, but if I were, I'd have receipts.
Yeah, you need receipts. Weird.
Like, why would you make some kind of accusation like that online without proof that it's him?
I mean, people do it on Reddit all the time. They never have proof, or they usually don't have receipts. So, but yeah, it was just like
That's wild. Like, maybe also that's a good case for not having a significant other that does the exact same job as you.
Yeah.
Like, that creates competition.
Yeah.
Where there doesn't need to be any. Because honestly, not being funny, but a lot of spouses, not all, but I hear it often, they have a hard time cheerleading for their other spouse. For whatever reason, they can't cheerlead. I don't know why. But maybe they're not tearing them down either, but they're just not their biggest cheerleader either. Which are also a good reason not to be with them. But I don't know. It seems weird. It seems shocking.
There's only one couple who I've heard that is remotely successful at this, and that's Ransom Riggs, who wrote the Peculiar something stories, and his wife is Tara. I'm going to mispronounce this. Mafita. She wrote Shatter Me. So they're both big name authors. They both get lots of accolades. His stuff got turned into a movie. Hers was going to get turned into a TV show, but I think that died before COVID. Probably because of COVID. Like, I remember seeing the script was released at one point. But like, they are the only couple who I've heard or seen be successful. But like, Jim Butcher used to be married to his wife, who was also a writer, and then he left her for a cosplayer. Sherilyn Kenyon's husband was a whole big thing. Like, that drama was woo. Yeah, no, like, usually it's not a good thing.
Like, we even hear that, like, with actors, right? And singers. And you just should not, it just doesn't, I think you should just have two separate things that you do that are not similar at all.
Yeah.
So
I have that rule myself. I'm not going to date writers. Unless Pierce Brown walks up to me and says hello.
Like, I think I'll make an exception.
I'll make an exception for you because I like the way you write. But everybody else, no. Hard pass.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, like, that's not a good idea. So hopefully this woman, so which way would you prefer it be based on how she put herself out there? Which way are you hoping it is based, so you can give her
both ways are insane.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want either one to be true. Like, I really hope her husband is not review bombing her on Goodreads. But, like, at the same time, okay, a book can get a lot of accolades and a lot of praise as, like, from the literary, oh, it's so good. And then the general public reads it and they're like, this is trash. Like, that happens. So it could just be the general public saying this book is trash. And she doesn't want to hear that. Maybe. So she's blaming her husband.
But we know at recent events, it only takes someone who's really good at IP addresses to figure it out. Because we've known from another author going around trashing other authors' books. We know about that happening late last year, I think it was.
Yeah.
So I think if she really wanted to figure out if this was multiple people or her husband, she could.
She could. If she was at all technologically literate. But it doesn't sound like she is because she's not, giving receipts. It's just,
I'll be the person like, all these reviews came from this house, so it's your house.
It's him. The call's coming from inside. It's him. Because he's not good and I am good. Like, either way, nothing good is coming out of this.
I probably could scroll my TikTok feed and find a good divorce lawyer for you.
Yes. There's a few good divorce lawyers. There's one guy who's really hot, and I'm like, I might marry you.
At least he knows what not to do.
Yeah, he knows what not to do. We'd signed a prenup before marriage. Like, he's talked about that all the time. And I'm like, you're smart. I like you.
You know what? I am pro prenup. I am pro prenup. Even if you both don't really have that much, you should draw some parameters about what would happen if. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Because I see a lot of people, including women, getting screwed by deadbeats husbands. So, prenup all the way.
Prenup all the way. Sign a prenup.
If you love each other, you never have to discuss it again. It won't come up.
Even if you only have $5 to your name, sign a prenup. Say, I want to keep what's mine. If anything happens, what's mine is mine.
Yep.
You don't know what's going to happen in 20 or 30 years.
No.
You could have $5 million and you want to keep that. So yeah.
I'm pro that. Yeah. So let us know. What would you tell this lady? Leave a comment and let us know. What advice would you give her if her husband did this?
Or if her husband didn't do it.
Yeah.
What would you tell her to do?
If her husband didn't do it, my advice is seek therapy quickly.
Divorce. Just leave him. He deserves better than you. Leave him.
He does, but he might love her.
She doesn't love him.
Especially not putting him on blast on the internet like that.
No, putting anybody on blast like that, you don't love them. You want the internet to come for them or whatever. Like, no. Divorce. Divorce all the way across the page. Doesn't matter who's doing what, just divorce.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Okay, I think now is a good time to take a quick break. We have a lot more TikTok stuff we're going to go through. We have some updates for you guys, some housekeeping things, and we'll be right back. Today's episode is brought to you by the Shelf Addiction merch store. Check out all the bookish t-shirts, notebooks, mugs, and more. Don't miss out on these original designs, perfect for any book nerd. Support the podcast and visit shelfaddiction.com/merch and pick up your next favorite bookish item. Okay, welcome back. And guess what? We usually don't have commercials in the after show. But we're putting them on the live feed.
Yes.
So if you were watching this on Patreon or listening on Spreaker, you would not hear any commercials. Okay, so let's go on to our next one. I thought this one was pretty interesting. Let me share it.
Respectfully, I invite you to recognize why telling people they read too much or too fast is rooted in white patriarchy. In childhood, we were rewarded for reading, which was considered good or ladylike behavior. We read constantly because we were raised in a world that still believes that unheard and unseen is better. Our parents praised us. Our teachers and librarians rewarded us. Pizza Hut fed us. We connected with characters on an emotional level. If you want to read slow, by all means, read slowly. But telling the world that reading fast or reading a lot is a bad thing, why does it bother you? I saw a young man on social media a couple of weeks ago insisting that reading too many books denied the purpose of literature. He said that people are better off reading one book slowly and in depth rather than reading tens or hundreds of books a year. I weep for his loneliness. If my analytics are any measure, 85% of book-related social media accounts are curated by women or female presenting readers. When someone says people who read a lot of books aren't reading thoughtfully or with intention, they mean I will regulate your time. When someone says reading slowly is the only way to sink deep into form and meaning, they mean overconsumption of pleasurable activities signals promiscuity. When someone says reading too many books a year means a lack of recall and understanding, they mean reading a wide variety of multicultural authors undermines the influence of the Western canon. When someone says audiobooks don't count as reading, they mean mundane activities require your full attention and should not be used as opportunities for education or entertainment. Notice how many of the same people mock readers who annotate their books. If we read too much, we're book sluts. If we annotate and take notes, we're obsessed. If you think I'm reading too much into it, ask yourself why those people aren't saying the same thing about the other arts. No one mocks strangers for going to art museums or concerts. Why is it okay to listen to music while you drive or fold laundry or cook, but not listen to an audiobook? It's because information is power, and a well-informed populace challenges the status quo.
Girl, she said it. Mind your own fucking business. Because, you know, she made a lot of valid points and good points. And there's a lot of things happening today that is sliding us right into the Handmaid's Tale.
Yep. Oh, yes.
Like,
just watch the news, and it is terrifying.
I never understood, like, why people critique other people's reading so hard. But all these things that she mentioned kind of like bring more light to that. Because I'm like, why do you fucking care if I read 50 or 100 books? Why do you care? Why do you care if I can't remember what happened in the plot of a book I read 5 months ago? I don't know. Everyone needs to just stay in their lane and let people do what they need to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I kind of disagreed with the first thing she was talking about how, we're praised for being unseen and silent and like you should have to go read because reading is better. And I think reading is very essential for humanity because storytelling teaches us empathy. I don't think it was a bad thing that we should be, home alone with our thousands of books, because that's not a bad thing. It's not that I disagree with, but everything else you said, yes.
I think she was kind of thinking like, maybe not today, but I don't know, 30 years ago, women were like kids.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like,
you should be seen, not heard. Shut up.
Oh yes,
sit down and read your book.
There's a lot of truth in that.
So yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't think that we should waste our time reading the great literary classics because that's all white, Western, masculine bullshit for the most part.
Yeah.
Like the classics that you're supposed to read aren't always good books.
No,
they're not good.
And it doesn't matter. Like, I feel
and
like
you can read whatever you want to read. Like, you can read alien porn. You can read whatever, as long as you're gaining empathy for other people.
And learning something.
Something. Yeah.
You can learn things in the most peculiar places. Like, there's a book that everyone is talking about, we'll talk about later. But everyone is Googling this one thing, and guess what? People learned something from that.
I don't know if they needed to learn that.
They probably didn't. But the point is, you know, that you're always finding out things, and like you said, empathy is the most important thing of all, and you get to see different settings, places you've never been, people meet characters, like types of people you would never meet.
Yes.
In your setting, it really expands your horizons and gives you more to think about and chew on than what someone who's looking like she's in The Handmaid's Tale on TV reading her script.
Yep.
So you know who I'm talking about.
Yep. We're not going to go into that drama because it
gives you because all of us that read books, I bet all those people are looking at this woman like, what's wrong with her? So, something's wrong.
Yes. There's something wrong here.
Something wrong. So, expand your mind. Read a lot of things. Try a lot of things. Except for Colleen Hoover.
Don't try that. Please, we'll recommend better books for you if you want.
Yeah. If you want we'll get into that later. We can give you recs for certain types of books.
Yes.
But generally speaking, read as many, annotate your heart away or don't. Listen or don't.
Yeah.
Kindle.
Do what works for you. Listen to your audiobook while cooking dinner, washing dishes, driving down the road. She's absolutely right. Nobody gets mad when people drive and listen to music. So listen to your audiobooks. Blast those sex scenes as loud as you can with your windows down.
Look, I am a fan of doing the 1-2 punch where I'm listening to part of the book and I'm reading part of the book, especially when I want to note things. It's easier for me to note things in an actual book, but it's easier for me to get through it faster when I can listen.
Yes.
If I only strictly read, I would not get as much done as I do. And that's just the fact. People who are busy lives, you got husbands and kids and jobs and
dogs to take care of,
and
you can't read while walking your dog.
Family and I don't know, all the things, right? Life gets in the way, but you can throw an audiobook on real fast.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it can be nonfiction. It can be fiction. It could be young adult. It could be alien porn. It could be a thriller. Like, it can be whatever you want it to be.
I agree. That lady made some good points, and I think everyone should go bookmark that and serve it up to someone who has some shit to talk.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Like,
yeah.
listen
You
to
don't
this.
need to spend months reading one single book. You can read a book in a week and then read it again next week and get the same absorption. Like, you don't have to spend too much time or, whatever. Like, nobody should tell you how to read.
Look, so yeah, that might be what English majors do, writing theses on books and stuff. But no, you don't have to do that. That's not required to enjoy reading.
No. And as a former English student here, like, it ruins reading. It absolutely ruins it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it takes all the joy out of it. You don't want to lose that joy.
I mean, I even remember I was never an English major, but just doing the stuff in English classes, I'm sure I would have enjoyed some of those books later had I not had to dissect it to death.
Yep.
But, it's your own thing. If you enjoy that, do it too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I love about, like, my circle of bookish friends. We're really not judging anybody. Do what you want.
Yeah.
Live and let live, as they say.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Reading should bring you joy. And if it's not bringing you joy, try a different book. Try a different way. Try something else.
Try on some different genres. Some different authors. It's all good stuff.
Don't feel like you have to read something just because it's a New York Times bestseller, or just because your mother told you, or just because, it's a great classic literature book and I have to read all of the greats, because no, you don't. No, you don't.
Guess what? You don't get a gold star at the end if you read them all.
You're not a better person for reading them unless it helps you and you enjoy it.
Yeah.
If you enjoy it, great. Read it. Love it. If you don't enjoy it, put the book down and go find something else.
Yeah, I agree. I co-sign on that fully.
Yay.
All right, let's move on to the next one. We've got a lot of fun TikTok stuff today, which I think is really cool. Being that there's no
drama, so it's just fun stuff.
We're sharing our opinions, which I love to do sometimes. So
yes, exactly.
All right, we're going to continue on and listen to this one.
Okay, us as a BookTok collective have to speak. Okay, the council has to get together. Because why are all of these men now posting all these videos, and the comments are always like, oh my gosh, I hope BookTok doesn't find this. Oh my gosh, it would be such a shame if all the girlies found this. Y'all, my whole For You page is average men making videos specifically so that BookTok will gas them up. We have hyped these men up too much. I'm gonna need you guys, if y'all see these videos, swipe. Okay, we cannot keep blowing up men for this. Like, I get it sometimes if they, like, actually look like characters and stuff like that, but, like, y'all, it's getting uncomfy at this point. Like, the stuff that I have seen these men do, it's uncomfy. I need the council to get together. We gotta talk about this, because this is not okay. Leave me alone. Sir, respectfully, I don't want to see it. Okay, I don't. Maybe that's just me. This could just be me. Okay, so if it's just me, just, like, ignore me. But, like, I feel like it can't be. It's uncomfortable sometimes.
She feels attacked.
I agree 100%. 1,000,000%. Oh my god. There are so many mediocre men who are, like, trying to growl and can't, or they're trying to be like, I'm so tough, and I'm like, I'm just gonna pop you on the nose.
Hey, let me just be honest here. So, okay, I did see one. My For You page is not flooded. I'm
happy for you.
Let me give you a little pro tip. If you hold the video, an option will come up to say not interested. Do that. Okay. Just don't swipe. Yes. Keep hitting uninterested, and then they will stop.
Thank God.
But, so I did see one video, and I did stop and watch because the guy was fine. I'm like, what is this? What are you talking about? And I'm like, oh, I guess he had another video that people just loved to death because he was, like, putting on a suit jacket or something in a stylish way, and the book community like latched on to him, and I don't know what book it was, but I was like, oh, okay. And I watched that, and I kept scrolling. I'm like, okay, I'm over that. And then I saw one other video that I think I shared. It was a guy who was like doing this deep growly voice. I'm like, shit.
Was that the dragon voice?
Yeah, I'm like,
okay, yeah, no, he is incredible.
Yeah,
I have seen so many men try to do that, and they fail so hard. They fail so hard.
Yeah,
they're like Barney trying to be a real dinosaur, and I am like, no.
This is what.
But then there's a
breathing.
book.
Yeah.
No. Apparently the motorcycle dudes have all been like, we're taking over BookTok girlies now. And it's just dudes in motorcycle helmets on their bikes trying to look cool, and they're just, no.
Not.
At least they're gonna live because they're wearing helmets, but like, no. Stay the fuck away.
Oh, God. If my phone is listening, do not show me any of those videos.
No, I watched one, and then all of a sudden I got flooded with them, and I was like, no, scroll. I do not want.
No. I'm sorry for her. That's all in her page like that. Like, that's awful.
It's everywhere, and it's annoying, and yeah, I'm with her. Where's the council? We need to start putting these men in their place. They're not qualified to be book boyfriends.
Yeah.
Like, they think just because they can put on the right filter on TikTok and do the right lighting or whatever. Like, no. No, you don't understand. You're not there.
Oh, God.
You're not book boyfriend material. They're like, but I want to be. And I'm like, nope. There's like one or two men who actually get it, and I support them, but everybody else, no. No. Just no.
Yeah, and say the people who have the great male voices are the people that are the narrators. They do that for a living. We don't need your ass trying.
Yeah, no. And even some of those narrators are terrible.
Some of them aren't that good either.
Like, we're not having that discussion today.
Yeah, but some of them are really good.
Some of them are really good. Some of them are not. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh, just stay off of TikTok. Go somewhere. Sit down.
Yeah, go sit down.
Stop trying to drag us book girls into it. Yuck.
There are thirsty girls who want all of that, but I don't think we should call them book girlies. We should just call them thirsty girls.
I know some of them I think are hockey girls or something. Like,
there was a whole drama around that a couple months ago.
Yeah, the whole hockey.
Yeah.
And I think they were doing a lot of that, like finding men that look like characters and stuff like that. The hockey romance girlies.
Yep. And then his wife stepped in and said, "You're making him uncomfortable. Stop." And they're like, "Oh my God, you're ruining my life." No, we're just, no.
But I think that was the whole thing too. Outside of that one particular guy, they were like identifying people online.
Oh, and it's awful. Those are real people with real lives and real wives. Like, they're not the book boyfriends you want them to be.
And not all the wives will write you a little nice soliloquy and read it, post it. Some wives will cut your ass out. So you better watch it.
Oh, hell yeah.
You better watch it. You never know who you're going to get. So,
exactly.
Yeah. Watch yourselves. Everybody stay in your lane. That's what I like to say.
Yes.
Okay. So y'all know, here on Shelf Addiction, we love a good book talk made us read it. So I'm going to show a few videos, and then we're going to talk about why we're going to do this summer. Because, have you heard of Omegaverse? So Omegaverse has showed up a lot for me on TikTok recently. And
I don't think you're going to like it.
Well,
I'm very worried for you. I want to protect your innocence. I want to protect you.
Well, this is why this particular book, it comes up when people talk about Omegaverse. Some people say it is. Some people say it's Omegaverse Ultra Light.
Without having read the book, I know what your book is. I haven't read it, but I'm assuming it's going to be ultra light because it is traditionally published. and she hasn't written paranormal before.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I know of the Omegaverse, it gets really dark and really twisted and really, really, really dark.
And it's crazy because let me tell y'all a little side note, because I am a novice in some things, including Omegaverse. I don't really know a lot. So after I saw that, I tried to search it, and TikTok said, you can't find this.
No.
I said, oh shit. Oh shit. It may be against our terms of service. I'm like, oh. I didn't know. So,
Oh my God.
Come for me. I did not. I wasn't trying to find something bad. I was just really curious. So, so yeah, that happened, and then I was like, shit. So people are saying this particular book, we're just gonna let the TikTok speak for themselves. Then we'll come back around.
Oh my God.
Lord have mercy. Actually, this one you kind of need to see because she's reading the book. Okay, hold on, let me share.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Turn around. Full U-turn. Absolutely.
Okay. That is this one woman's opinion on the book. She read that one thing and had a conniption.
Bride by Ellie Hazelwood is freaking amazing. She has found her calling because I am obsessed. The enemies to lovers arranged marriage, the freaking world building, the way that this is completely different to any other vampire and werewolf romances I have read. The banter, the tension and angst, you guys. This is one scene. I was a mess. I was blushing. I had butterflies. I was like reading Spice for the first time in my entire life. That's how it felt because the build-up between these two, it was delicious and funny and cute and just everything that I wanted. This comes out in February, and if you have not added this to your TBR...
Okay, so I do like a good build-up, right? I do like a good, let me believe it. I want make me buy in. So after hearing her comments and then the other girl's comments and then someone else's comments,
Bride by Ellie Hazelwood is not an Omegaverse. It is a werewolf romance. And it's very clearly a werewolf romance to me, someone who reads a lot of werewolf romance. And so I have created a flowchart so that you can, in the future, identify if the book you are reading is just a classic werewolf romance with classic werewolf traits, or if it is actually an Omegaverse. And I have seen people say, oh, it's a good...
Okay, we're gonna stop there. I don't give a fuck about her chart. What I did think was interesting is that she is of the team that does not think it fits. And I'm just going to play one more. And so after seeing several of these videos, I'm like, okay.
If you've been around since my AO3 days, then you know, which continue. AO3 is not something that you quit. I'm sorry. But if you were there when I was first discovering it, you'll know that I love Omegaverse. And I got just this big kick of reading Omegaverse all the time. And I love Omegaverse dynamics. You aren't sure what Omegaverse is. It's a made-up universe like that expounds upon like wolf dynamics in packs. It's not real. This isn't how an actual pack works, but it's entertaining. Betas are your like normal people. I would say there are like 90 to out of 100 people are betas, and then you'll have 9 of them that are alphas, and then 1 that is an omega. Alphas like and betas, like they pack to mate an omega, and like they go into heat. Like it's real. It's like biological imperatives meets like fated mates. And the tension is always so fucking good. And I know some people, and myself included, I don't like when it's like there's the non-consensual part of Omegaverse, because obviously that can come into it given the dynamics. But usually I lean away from stories like that.
Okay, so I like that she was pretty clear in explaining. And I like that. Okay, so I'm like, okay, that doesn't sound too bad. And also knowing that this, like you said, this author is traditionally published, I'm thinking it's not going to be too bad. So yeah, we're going to stop it there. So let's talk about the book. We're going to read Bride by Ellie Hazelwood. Let's see. And this is going to be, I think, our first book talk made us read it of the summer. Right? So I'm not sure what month that'll be. It's going to be sometime, whatever the beginning of summer is.
Yes.
And actually, I have not read this author before.
I haven't either. She's on my to be read pile. I want to read her eventually because I hear good things about her. But
so look at this. So far, so it came out a year ago. It's been a little over a year. There's over 100,000 ratings.
No, it just came out in this year.
This year.
2 months ago.
Oh my gosh.
A month ago.
It's just right there. February
it's March.
6th.
Yeah.
So it's been 1 month, almost to the day, over 100,000 ratings, and it's 4.16 out of 5. That is spectacular.
That's big. Yeah.
That's spectacular. Yeah, and it's been a long time since I read like something that wasn't Mercy Thompson that had wolves that I loved.
Yes.
So I'm really curious. Did BookTok serve up a good one?
I hope so. I really hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have high hopes for this book.
And I do like the cover art here, but there's been some drama because they've reissued the cover art. It's not here, but they've reissued the cover art, and it's this cartoony cover that's like looks like really pink and just different, and people are shitting all over that cover art to the point where the person who created the cover art put out a statement. I don't know. They put out a statement like, dude, I didn't just make this up of my own volition. Like, they told me what parameters to use, and there's other input. It's not just me. So can you stop coming for this cover art?
Ouch.
Yeah, and I guess maybe they tried to showcase it somewhere, because I'm like, obviously they haven't published it yet because it's not on Goodreads yet, but it looked, I didn't save that TikTok. I should have. It looked like, what? It's very different from this cover art. So I'm very excited. We found our first BookTok Made Us Read It of the year. And
the second one.
Oh, what was our first one?
Kimberly Lemming. At that time I got drunk and saved a demon.
Okay, yeah.
So I read the whole trilogy. The whole trilogy is really good.
You finished it?
I finished the trilogy.
Okay.
I'm loving it. So
I should go back and continue. Okay.
Book 2 is about Brie, and there's so many cheese jokes.
Oh God.
And
Brie
then book 3,
cheese.
Book 3 is a surprise.
Okay.
If you read the back cover of book 3, you ruins the surprise. But I think read book 3.
Okay. I'll get back to that as soon as time allows. I do intend to go back to it. You might have to remind me one more time.
Okay. I'm here for it. I will remind you.
Okay. So this will be our second one. And we're going to give you guys a sneak peek of what we're doing a little bit. So before then, we are going to return to Mercy Thompson. We are, but guess what, y'all? Get excited. Subscribe. If you're listening and you've never subscribed to us, you don't want to miss this, especially if you're a Mercy Thompson fan, because we're gonna read the graphic novel. Yay! We're gonna do that in April, I think we said, right?
April or May.
One or the other.
Well, sometime soon.
One or the other. It's coming up, because we're talking about wolves. So we're going to tell you, we're going back to Mercy Thompson. You guys know the new Mercy books comes out soon in the next couple of months. So we'll be revisiting that world very soon. So if you are a Mercy Thompson fan, subscribe. You don't want to miss the new content coming in that Mercyverse, right? That's what we're calling it.
Yes, Mercyverse.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Yes. And then one more thing for housekeeping. This is an exciting development that I'm very happy about. So before, if you've been around, me and Casey, we struggle and cry tears of happiness and sadness over our fantasy picks. Sometimes we murder each other slowly with our picks, and sometimes they're fabulous. So what we decided, we are going to put our fate in your hands. As Patreon members only. So this is a new perk to Patreon members. We're going to put our suggestions up, and you're going to vote. You're going to vote, and you're going to see what we are going to discover. You're going to choose our path. You're going to choose what is it? Our path, basically. You're going to pick the book.
A reading journey.
Yeah, you're going to pick the series for now. For now, I don't know if it's going to be like this forever, but I'm feeling it now.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of March, toward the end of March, we're going to have 2 options go up for our very next fantasy series. We are completing Serpent and Dove this month.
Mm-hmm.
And then April, we're taking off. So you guys can all vote.
So you can join Patreon and vote.
Join Patreon, vote, join us on book clubs, and you can read along with us. You'll get notifications and everything of what we're reading, and then we'll kick it off in May with the first Patreon fantasy series pick. Yay! Yes. So if it's awful, we can blame you.
Yes.
And it's great, we'll also blame you. I love that. I feel like the pressure is off a little bit now.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. And whatever you guys want, you can vote on. And yeah, we're gonna put that little corner of the podcast in your hands for a while. But we're still doing some of the legwork. We're gonna find the suggestions and then we'll let you pick from those. So we're still gonna do some of the, because we can't let y'all go completely off the rails now.
I mean, we could. We could at some point. Maybe for like a bookish talk, let them pick a book for us to read.
Oh, we could do that. Yeah. So join Patreon, because you may have an opportunity to really tell us
what. Tell us what to read.
Tamara, read this book, and we might do it. For better or worse, we're going to do it. If y'all like hearing us talk shit, you could even recommend a hate read. We do it.
Oh, we do it. Don't tell us to read Colin Hoover, because we won't, but tell us to read something else.
That's the line. We won't read her. We have a principle on her. We won't read her.
Yeah, no, not that, but anything else is fair game.
Yeah. I'm excited. I think we have a fun couple of months coming up with reading. Yeah. We have some good stuff. We have some exciting things because we don't get to pick our series next time. I'm excited.
Me too.
And this has been a fun after show too, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This has been great.
Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed getting a peek behind the paywall. And if you want more conversations, we don't always do Twitter topics. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we do other topics. Sometimes we just shoot the shit. And in a real casual environment like this, we get to get off the rails of talking about a specific book and kind of just give our opinions on bookish stuff in general. And sometimes you get some story times. I'm good for a story time.
Oh yeah.
Like this one time. No, just kidding.
And we're out of time.
So yeah, that is it. Thanks for listening to the entire episode. Anything else, Casey, before we go?
I think that's it. I think we covered everything. All the important stuff.
All right. Awesome. So yeah, thanks again, you guys, for listening to this entire episode. We appreciate you for being here. Of course, don't forget to subscribe, share, and see us on Patreon. And until next time, take care of yourselves. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.